What's up guys, DiplexHeated here again. Welcome back to Call of Duty World War III Mod 4 Men of War Assault Squad 2, and welcome to Ukraine. Today we're doing a modern line defense battle with the Americans defending and the Russians attacking. So this is part of the World War III scenario that I've pretty much constantly been having in the run whenever we're doing and playing a modern mod, and as soon as the Russians and Americans are involved fighting each other, it's practically just World War III in either America or Ukraine or something like that. So this is not really part of the invasion of... Well, actually, as a matter of fact, this is meanwhile the Russians are invading America. The U.S. NATO forces deployed in like Romania and like Estonia, Lithuania, Poland, and all those other countries around the border next to Russia. They're also, of course, engaged together with the European NATO forces, engaged with the Russians. And this is in Ukraine, as a matter of fact, that the Russians invaded at the start of the war. They invaded Ukraine and started fighting Ukraine before they invaded the east coast of America. So that's another reason why the Russians could kind of easily come in and take Washington and battle the Americans on the east coast. It's because a lot of the U.S. forces were actually out of the country. But anyway, that's a little besides the point. We are going to return to America pretty soon and wrap up the Russian invasion before we perhaps continue some battling in Europe. Perhaps we'll invade Russia, as a matter of fact. There's plenty of maps that comes with this Call of Duty World War III mod that will allow us to do so accurately. So let's go through the US defenses and then we'll start the battle. So at the front, we've got some pretty early makeshift defenses here. We've got a tow launcher, we've got a couple of soldiers, we've got about a squad here and a Humvee. So this has all been deployed using this Humvee. A couple of sandbags too. Up here on the right side, we have a very dated tractor, or what seems to be a bulldozer, which has been here for quite some time, has been abandoned by the driver and a downed BMP. This is not part of this battle. This wasn't recent. This was many months ago when the Ukrainians were fighting the Russians here, and we've just simply taken up cover behind it. So we've pushed the Russians back a bit, but after many months of battling, the Russians have gone on an offensive, and they're pushing us back now. So we have to dig down and defend. So we've got another little section here. In the middle, we've got 50 caliber BMG and some more infantry. That's the first line. Second line, well, we've got strikers, another tow launcher on top of a truck, which is really cool, and a Bradley along with some infantry. Over on the right side, we have another two strikers and a Humvee. One of the strikers have a 120mm gun, I think. I'm not sure what the striker's called specifically, but there's also more infantry near there. Then towards the middle, we've got some artillery and some supplies and lots of infantry. Further at the back, we've got two Bradleys covering each side flank. And at the far rear, we've got two M1A2 Tusks with 4 mortars, so a whole mortar battery, lots of infantry, and then another Bradley in the center with more infantry. And the commander, which would be the colonel right here, defending. This is his regiment holding. So the Russians are going to be attacking with a force of equal numbers, so to speak. There's not really a lot of natural cover here, so the defenses that are deployed aren't going to be very substantially advantageous for the Americans. It's all going to be very flat and straight on, so I'd say that even numbers will be pretty okay today. The Russians are going to have a lot more infantry, like 3 times as much infantry probably, but armored vehicles is going to be even, perhaps a little more, but the amount of tanks the Russians are going to have more. We're in Russian, pretty much right next to Mother Russia, so of course they'd have lots of more units. So we'll see if the Americans can hold today. It's going to be very uncertain, but without further ado, 3, 2, 1, let's start the battle and let's enjoy this from my spectator's view. Russian infantry is coming in, and the infantry I'm using for the Russians today is soldiers from the Modern Warfare 3 series. Previously, in the US invasion videos that I've done, we've been using Rangers and Russians from Modern Warfare 2, because the Ranger roster is not as big on the Modern Warfare 3 side of things. So I doubt there's... Battle's about to begin, boys. Ooh, and the firefight is underway. Russian infantry engaging the first checkpoint here. The Americans are holding it down quite nicely. Come the first wave of vehicles who were stationary there before. They're moving up to support the infantry attacking. It's a nice push. Lots of vehicles moving in, more infantry coming up as well. And 2 T-90s can be spotted in the distance. The Humvees have been pretty much completely neutralized. They're smoking and burning. But the infantry is still holding on. This section on the left side has been completely knocked out. There's a few soldiers remaining, returning fire, but that's about it. The tow launchers have been knocked out. We've got some AT infantry and a 50 caliber machine gun down in the center. That's going to be greeting the Russians as they try and charge their way in. Boom, BMP down. Probably took a direct hit there from one of the strikers. Oh, and a rocket from a BMP disabled the second striker there. A rocket down the middle, probably from a lot. 84, as a matter of fact, took out the BTR that came out down the center. One Russian vehicle just rushing through the front lines, but it's quickly disabled and killed. That's pretty cool, man. This is some hectic shooting. Just seeing all these like BMPs and Russian infantry advancing over an open field reminds me of Behind Enemy Lines, or whatever it's called. You know, with that in the movie with Owen Wilson during the Balkan Wars. T-90 taken down by one of the AT soldiers down the center. They're right now taking a lot of suppressing fire. One of the Bradleys all the way back there has been taken down, which is rather surprising. And the LAV and other assets on this side is starting to take fire now, so the middle defense is currently quite engaged in combat. This 50 caliber setup is still surviving. Still gunning down Russian infantry advancing on its position. Look at that 50 cal. It's just killing everything. Oh, but it's finally dealt with. We have another 2 US soldiers holding it down here. That guy's got a Scar H. That's cool. Ooh, artillery's opening up now. The middle line here has finally got themselves engaged in combat. Lots of missiles being exchanged here between the infantry and, of course, the APCs. We see smoke pillars every here and then. BMP's down in the middle, but there's still more coming up. Boom! Direct hit from the truck. This truck, for being such a very unarmored vehicle, being able to have a mobile AT system on it like this is very advantageous for the Americans. Lots of Russian infantry coming down the center, and boom, there goes another BMP. If they don't deal with this guy quickly, then it's going to end up very poorly for the Russians. They're going to lose a lot of their armored assets. They have already lost quite a few attacking, but a lot of the vehicles currently on screen on the US side are also disabled. I believe we're only down to this very truck here. Russian infantry coming up. Ooh. And there goes the truck. T-90 had enough of that, and it's moving up to support its infantry. The reason why we're using this mod doesn't have all the vehicles that I've had in Red Rising. I mainly use this mod for like the stats of units and also the weapons sounds and the skins on the models of the soldiers. All the Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and Modern Warfare models and skins are really cool to have because they're really cool. But in the future I might do more Red Rising because of the fact that there's a lot more vehicles for both sides, which is always, of course, very good when doing line defense videos like this. US artillery still engaging the enemy. Oh, that's so cool to have these guns down on the ground. Oh, fuel truck down. T-90 is just advancing on the US positions right now. Both of them are just slowly rolling up. And look at this. Motorstrelki. More Russian infantry on armored vehicles are rolling in. This is going to be a tough one, my guys. This is going to be a tough one. Middle defense taking lots of fire, but missiles are being shot from all directions. And some close range 84 fire is going to be enough to take that one down. One of the guns are still active and operational. This defense is still holding. Quite surprising. They're all extremely suppressed. Some of the tanker members are trying to repair the tank, which seems very logical. Got more BMPs and BTRs moving up as well. They're so suppressed they don't show, but I don't know. Is he dead now? Yes, he is. Now they're going to focus all the fire on the middle, and the last American artillery piece is finally brought down. So much infantry. Look at this. So many troops. And supported by the armored vehicles. It's really cool. The double sandbag lines are pretty efficient in stopping bullets, though. They definitely getting the job done there. But with some of the flanking fire coming around, and especially all the heavier rounds from the BMPs and stuff, it's going to disable them. Truck down, and the middle is definitely cleared out. This Bradley's down. Oh, 284 missiles are going to take down that BMP. That's nice. BMP on this side is, or APC Bradley on this side is already down as well. Definitely knocked out. Smoke coming out of this one, and this one hasn't done any action in a while, and they seem to have its crew dismounted on the side there, so only infantry remaining here. It would be the final line with the 2 Tusks and 1 Bradley, along with infantry and artillery. Here we come. The Russians are coming. I was looking up here. More infantry's coming in. Are these tanks being repaired? I think they're completely knocked out. It's very unfortunate for the Russians, but tanks are pretty good targets for AT in the open like this. Is this vehicle got stuck? Could be glitched. I'm going to see if I can just help it out. Yeah, there we go. It was stuck for a second, so of course we're going to give the Russians a little helping hand there in getting unstuck. That should be the only vehicle. Yes. More US soldiers on this side. Getting very suppressed by the insane amount of Russian infantry. So the Russian infantry obviously got a lot of AT weaponry with them as well. See a lot of rockets on people's backs here. We got RPGs, and this is one of the Russian tube launchers. It's like an AT-4 variant, but on the Russian side. Should work the same. I think it's called like RPG-18 or something like that. RPG-20, RPG-22. I'm not sure. Another BMP is rolling up. More infantry. Oh, a quick rocket there from the Bradley. Took it out instantly. That was pretty cool. The Bradley in the middle has got some serious rockets on it. This is the maximally upgraded Bradley there is, with all the attachments, all the extra weapons. Looks like a bloody moving fortress almost with all those guns on it. Full fire now from the US center defense. Mortars kicking in as well to support the infantry in the middle. It's a real kill zone right here in the middle. Oh my lord. If the Russians could get closer in range, they could use their AT weapons to knock out the US armor, but the infantry is very well dug in. I have obviously run this mission before in test runs, and in the one I did before I started recording, the US lost one of the Tusks and this Bradley. So it's definitely close, and it definitely matters to who shoots first and if you miss or not. It's very vital. It can literally give you, make or break the game, so to speak. Alright, my friends. Oh, sniper took that guy out. Do they have many? Oh, look at that. Snipers and infantry moving up. There's still a lot hiding around the ruins here. Let me open up the menu here. Are these tanks completely down? I think they are. Well, we'll go ahead and commit the remaining forces there of the Russian attacking army into the battle. But it looks pretty grim, guys. I don't think that the remainder on the battlefield is going to be enough to take down the American defenses. I think they're discussing that within themselves here. Some of the officers and soldiers currently in cover behind a destroyed BTR-70. Are we going to be able to take it? I don't think so. The Americans have taken heavy casualties around here. You can just see all the dead Rangers around the covers. There's a couple of explosions here and there. Some of the defenses have obviously taken more casualties than other, but the I don't know. With the current Tusks and Bradleys remaining, I think it's going to be very hard for the Russians to make this. There comes a rocket. It hits the Bradley, but it didn't take it out. So all they got to do is get in range and give it a try. But if you don't get it on the first, you're going to unleash the wrath of a Bradley on you. And that's a little less positive for the RPG soldiers back there. Guys, I think it's time to wrap up this line defense. The US have been successful in defending, and I was actually very unsure of the result. Too many T-90s went down a little further back here. If they would have been more concerned about focusing on the enemy vehicles, like the tow truck and other things back here, I'm pretty certain that they would have come out victorious, or at least been able to bring up more T-90s further closer to the Tusks back here. That's what they did in the previous test round. But if you guys want to see more gameplay, if you guys want to see the Russians doing a Russian line defense against masses of US Army soldiers and tanks and armed vehicles, then we can do that as well. And I would love to actually do that. So let me know, guys, and I'll be sure to work on that. And I'll see you guys soon again. Let's look at casualties first. US in yellow, Russian in red. Obviously, a lot of the bodies have disappeared because of explosions and such. If we look at the amount of helmets and equipment on the ground, then it tells a different story as well. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys soon again. Bye.